If you guys are new or you're coming back, this is GaRon Stitchery. This is my WIP parade for 2025. As you can see, we don't have Ronnie today. He decided not to be in the WIP parade. So we'll just go through, well, it's been a while since I've done a video by myself. It's been kind of awkward. So if you're new, we are a Flosstube channel about cross stitch. We are cross stitchers ourselves, and we own an online cross stitch shop. As you can see, it's behind me, called GaRon-Stitchery.com. So if you want to order anything that ships to you, just go on the website and order it that way. We're not able to take orders or payments over the phone, so please go to the website and complete your transactions there. If you want to stop by in Ozark in Alabama, you're more than welcome to stop by, and we'll help you pick out some good things. So I want to wish everyone a happy new year. This is the first video. It's kind of a weird, this is not a normal video. So this is a WIP video. It's only going to show the WIPs. We're not going to do any of the normal stuff we do in our videos. So next week's video should be possibly 2 weeks worth of stuff received. But we didn't receive a lot because most of the distributors and designers have all went away for the holidays. So shouldn't be too bad of a video next week. So let's get into what do we want to do first? I have my WIPs all in order by year. We're going to show the oldest ones first, and my oldest WIP goes back to 2019, and then we'll go all the way up to 2025. So let's see, what else do we want to do? Let's go over numbers. So last year, because I did before I showed this, save the numbers for the end, but this year I want to show the numbers at the beginning because I thought I did pretty good this year till I looked at the numbers. So it's kind of a wash. So last year I had 77 WIPs at the end of the year of 2024. And this year I have WIPs, I have at the end of the year of 2025, I've got 73 WIPs. So I only technically reduced my WIPs by 4, but I had 40 finishes. So I had a lot of starts and finishes all at once in 2025. So we had 40 finishes for the year of 2025 and 37 new starts. So that explains the numbers. And so I did reduce some of my previous WIPs by 16. So there really was minus, 17. So it's 60. Oh gosh, this is math on camera. 61, is that right? 61, I think. 61 old WIPs that should still be out there, if that's right. I don't think that's right. But anyway, it's math. Math is hard. So I guess we should just go ahead and get started. I have as much information as I remember. I do have, I think I got all the names of the fabrics and the counts. I don't have the dyer, but I think I did better than I have in the past because I have to keep my hands off the table. The table's bouncy. Because I used to say fabric yes, because I didn't really know what fabric was. So a lot of this stuff is fabric that I've acquired prior to having a shop. So a lot of it is from places that no longer fabric's available, or I don't know where it came from, or some of it is stuff we do carry. So it's a mixed bag, and this is a WIP parade. So this is not a shop parade, but some of the patterns we should have them in the shop. But let's get started. So the oldest WIP, and none of these, I can already tell you guys, none of these I'm going to not do. I love all of my 73 WIPs. They're my children. So let's get into the first one here. You know what? I think I need a table. Okay. All right. Hopefully that'll work. So the first one, and some of these I have the cover photos. Some I don't because they're old. And most of these have been through a couple of years of WIP parades. So during WIP parades, sometimes things get misplaced and lost. Typically it's the cover photo. Actually, one of my WIPs, while I was going through, we spent all day yesterday getting them together. I actually finally found the thread that I lost from one of my WIPs in another bag, so I actually was able to put that back together, which is good because now I can stitch it. So the first oldest WIP is Wicked Christmas by Sarah. This thing is humongous. I still love it. I have not stitched on it at all this last year because it's 278 by 263 stitches, and it is on, see, look, some these, you can tell how old these are because they actually got things on them. So cards. All right, I'm not very good at controlling things, and I'm not going to apologize. I don't know why people apologize for hanging threads on a WIP, because it's a WIP. Threads hang. Let it go. All right, so this is where I'm at on this pattern still. This is a 36 count Wren, and it's a loose 36 count because I've been using 2 threads. I don't normally stitch on a lot of 36 count, but this is actually a nice one. I don't know who it's by, but it's called 36 Wren. And there is that one. So, ooh, the white looks really good on that. I do love it, but look at all those solid stitching in the houses down there. And it puts the 2 holidays together, Christmas and Halloween. All right, next one we have is, this one may be a restart because I have not stitched on it since the year it was started in 2019. And the reason is, it's on 40 count. I think that's the reason. I don't know. I'll probably need to stitch on it, try stitching on it one more time before I say I need to restart it. So here is Ghostly Guard by Lucy Bean. Here's the pattern. So it's kind of a cool cross stitch cemetery. So kind of poetic that this piece is part of that collection as well. So Ghostly Guard, Thy Needle and Thread. So it's that one. And this is on, oh, I didn't show you where I'm at. Kind of embarrassed because I have nothing done on it, but it's 40 count. It's hard. So this is on 40 count Caramel Macchiato. And I do know that's fabrics by Stephanie. And this was probably a Mania start because it says May 2019. Remember those days, Mania? The colors are slowly getting in there. Okay. We don't have the perfect lighting as we do in the shop, so my colors are not going to look pristine like we're used to. All right, and here is another 2019. You know what, I need, my eye was wandering on this spreadsheet. So my next WIP, and I do still love this one. So this is from Plum Street Samplers, and it's called Toil and Trouble. So you can tell look how old it is. This is an old pattern. So Toil and Trouble. I do have I don't know, maybe I got quite a bit done. But these are some monster trees, and this is on 28 count Regency, and that is by Picture This Plus. So it's like a green, but it's the fill-in. You know, sometimes the fill-in, I don't know. It's a great retreat piece, I thought one time, and I took it to a retreat, and I started talking, and it was over with. I was just talking. So, let's see. Oh, the colors don't look as bright. They look brighter on the picture, but I think I'm over here on this green tree right there. I don't know. Yeah, I think it's okay. But yeah, this is still one that I would like to stitch on. And I'm not going to tell you guys which ones I've planned on stitching. Maybe till next video. I don't know. We'll think about it. I'm playing on my plan, and I'm not sure. My problem is I overplan. I always fail. So I got to figure out a happy medium. And now for my next WIP. Again, this is one that I've lost the cover photo to, but it's almost done, so you kind of can tell what it is. It's really, it should be done. But it's from Kathy Barrick, and it's called Tonight is Halloween. So it's just, all right, so I got this part here done, so I just got to do a ghost and some of the squirrelies and like a more, so it's like not that much to do. I could get it done, but it's not on my, I don't think it's on my plan. I don't know what my plan is yet, so that's why I can't really say. So this is Tonight is Halloween, and this is on Ooh, a 36 count. Huh, who knew? It's a 36 count solo die. Again, this is one of those ones I picked up in my travels. You know, and when you travel, what happens with the card sometime with the name of the fabric? It gets lost. It got lost. All right. Next one. Now this one is a restart. I restarted it this year, but I'm still counting it as a 2019 start because I started it on a lime green fabric. You said, go figure, why not? It should work, but it didn't. And it was lime green, and it was actually a table runner. Back in the day, they used to make table runners that you could stitch on, and it was like a 27 count, but it was elongated. So the stitches looked like really... And the lime green didn't work very well with the colors. So what I'm talking about is the spider banner from Alessandra, Adelaide. Here's the spider banner from Alessandra, Adelaide. So originally I started up here and was going down there, but I restarted it from the bottom up. All I did was just flip it like that. So I'm going to stitch it from that way. And I got a lot more done. This is Fox and Rabbit, 32 count, Arctic Fox. I finally remembered it. It's like a purpley gray. It's looking really good. So this Alessandra Adelaide is our designer focus designer for January. And this one will be worked on and finished this month. So yay, I can take it my 5 WIPs from 2019 down to 4. That would be good. So there is that. So we finished 2019. And as we can tell, once we get into COVID years, 2020, 2021, I have a lot of WIPs. I had a lot of stress going on because I'm a stress starter and a stress stitcher. So I'll just start everything. But I'm getting better at it. I don't know, I said that, but I had a lot of starts in 2025. So here is the first one from 2020. And this is Spring Quaker. I did stitch on this quite a bit this year. The plan that I'm saying, there's not a plan, but I know this one's in my list. I want to do this one. Spring Quaker. As you can tell, I got a lot done. Where are we at? Where are we at? Who's upside down? Hold on, I can't tell where I'm at. Oh, wow. Okay, so I'm like here, and that is like right about there. Oh, this is going to be a finish. Oh, look at that. Oh. So this is definitely on the list to get finished this year. And I'm stitching it with all the called for Valdani threads and the called for fabric, which is called for fabric. I lost my card. Called for fabric was 28 count Valor by Pictures Plus. So I'm using all the called for on this one. I truly love this one. So this is there's 2 out of 73 that are on the short list. This next one is not on the list. The next one is Summer Quaker from Rosewood Manor. And as you can tell, not a lot done. Not even... What is that, maybe a page? Yeah. Oops. Oh, looked like we had a Gary quake. So here is a page and a half. So that is all I had done. Page and a half. And there's how many pages in this pattern? There are 9 pages, so I'm not even close. I'm using the called for fabric, which was 28 count truffle by Pictures Plus. It's kind of pinky. But that's not what is holding me up on this. I think what it is I focus so much on, well, I did finish Winter Quaker and Autumn Quaker. Then I focus so much on Spring Quaker because I love the green and I love the words that are backstitched on there. So that's my true focus piece of the 4, which are 2 are done and 1's almost done. And this one maybe next year or next year. I don't know. All right, who do we have next? Next we have another one I stitched a little bit on this year. Reindeer Feed Sack by Carriage House Samplings. Here it is. It's on a, they show it on one of those gingham fabrics. And the red on here that they used was like 3 377 or 379, one of those orangey reds. But I changed mine. I'm using Belle Soie, and I changed mine to Tulip, and the white is icing, and it's stitched on 40 count. I am not very good with 40 count, but I've been kicking this thing around since 2020, and you can see I am really close. I just got to finish, really, is that it? North on the bottom. So once north is finished on the bottom, then I go up here to the top and do, what's that word up there? Finest. And this is on the short list for this year. So, and see, it's all ready. All I gotta do is throw a needle on there and I can finish those words up. All right. Next one is Halloween Gathering. And that's one I misplaced the photo on. It's from Thistles, and it's 5 pieces of fabric that you stitch on, and then you stitch them all together afterwards. And as you guys know, my kryptonite is snowflakes. My other kryptonite is apparently fill-in, but also pumpkins. And this is the one that I'm stuck on. So this is the medium. Did I say that right? Yes. The medium pumpkin, and then there's a larger pumpkin down here. So, and it's with variegated thread. So this one I did like kind of weird, and this one I'm doing up and down. And the other one I think I'm going to go this way. So it looks kind of pumpkin-y. I don't know. But this is on a 32 count oil green by XJude Design. And I'll tell you one thing, every time we get oil green in, it's completely different. So it's just what happens is what you get on some of the hand-dyed fabrics. Now, this next one, this is one, no, I'm not stitching it with someone. I thought I was stitching it with somebody, but if I did, then they probably already finished theirs. This is Stacy Nash, Halloween at Hollyberry Farm. And you can tell a lot of Halloween in the early years until I started diversifying. So here is Halloween at Hollyberry Farm. I got quite a bit done. I'm doing it. Okay, this thing is humongous. It's on 28 count. 28 count. Where are you at? Driftwood. I don't know who it's by. So here is, I'm doing all the called for colors. Oh, look at that piece. So this is, I'm over here. I'm over here. I've almost made it to the edge because you see I got the cross started. So I'm almost to the edge. So, and then I did start a little bit on that house. What happened is this was a restart. Originally I had it done on a dark fabric, and I was doing it on 36 count, and there was, because it was dark and it was 36 count and a lot of thin and thick lines, I kept getting confused, and the house was all wonky with half threads missing and all that stuff. So I just said, you know what, I'm going to make it easy. It's a big one. It's going to be big, so that's why I switched to 28 count and something lighter, but the white is looking really good on there. I like this. So, and I want to do the summer one, and I want to do the Christmas one. So I better get this thing under the belt before I get stuck on those other ones, because I really like the patriotic one. My paper moved. Okay. This next one is also on 40 count. It seems like all my 40 count fabrics are unnamed. This is Miss Mary Mac. I started it back when we were in Florida. It's on 40 count. I believe everyone that I was stitching it with has already finished, framed theirs, and I'm still here. So this is a 40 count. I know it's a Seraphim fabric, but it was one of her oopsies. I think she called it like number 22. And they're like, but it was, I love this color. I just wish it was in a 32 so that I could actually see the stitch on it. But I got, you know, that's not bad. I think I am using thread. I think what I'm doing is I'm using Witching Hour by Gentle Arts, because it's like this purpley brown. All right. So there's only 2 stacks, so they're going down a little bit. Next one here is another one that I've lost the photo on. You're going to hear a theme here. This is from Little Stitch Girl, and it's called Spooky Hollow Cemetery. So there's a series of these that she did. She did all these little houses and shops, like barbershops and shopping areas and stuff like that with monsters and stuff. And this is the cemetery. It's not that big. It is on the list to get done this year because I am over this piece just hanging around. So this is on a 36 count Serafina by Seraphim Fabrics. And the 36 count on this one is not bothering me. That's not the problem. I think my problem is it's a small piece and I'm thinking, oh, it should be done quick. And then I get distracted by squirrel, you know, so it's like, that's what happens. All right, there's that. And I was thinking he was a Frankenstein because he's got that square head, but he's a zombie. But isn't Frankenstein a zombie? I don't know. I know Frankenstein's a made man, so there you go. There's that. And the next one is not on the list to get done. This one, the reason there's nothing been stitched on it since 2020 was because it's on a Picture This Plus fabric called Seraphim, called Cyprium. And at the time, every year I'd pull it out. It was like very hard to get this fabric. So, but now Picture This Plus is back in production and easier to get. So maybe this will come out of the stockpile one year. So here is, it's Birds of a Feather, and it's called All Hallows Night. And you can see this is really embarrassing. Can you, yeah. At least I know which way is up. This way is up because that's the dad's arm. And I'm doing it with all the called for Weeks Dye Works threads. And they are still in the bag. So, and that's what happens is, so if I stitch it, I can take the floss that's used out of it and then use it for another project. But I'm holding up all the floss. I think it's going to be a Rosewood Manor year. I'm kind of feeling Rosewood Manor-ish because this is another one that I really want to get done. I thought I had more of it done than what I did, but I do love this piece. It's Turkish Delight by Rosewood Manor. This is it on the red. You know, when it first came out, the red wasn't calling to me, but the more I pull this book out, I kind of like that red now. But I like the fabric. I still love the fabric I picked. I picked 32 count Nessie by Picture This Plus. I did not change any of the blue, any of the colors. I'm still using the called for color, but I like how it's ghosting in on this blue fabric with the colors. You can still see, you can see it in person, you can see it on the camera, but I'm really enjoying this piece. So this will be a 2026, 2026 focus piece. I hope so. We'll see. And that's Turkish Delight. Oh, did I? Oh, I skipped one because it's over here. He's on the roller bars, and I didn't want to take him off. I was going to stitch on him in December, and then I got carried away with my Christmas town, and I couldn't put it down. So this is Dasher from Nora Corbett, and he is on 32 count Ozark. I don't know who that's by. Oh, you guys are not being able to see him. There you go. All it's really left to do, and I say just, but it's a pain, is all the blue on blue, light blue Krynic that goes all through here like icicles, and then there's all up through here and that, and then the beading. But it's the Krynic that's killing me. Oh, and then I think there's more of the border. I think there's Krynic in the border and stuff too. So it's all the sparkly stuff. All the DMC's done. But he's been hanging around since 2020. And he's not that big. So I still have the other reindeer to do also. So let me put him back over here. He's not as far this time. All right. And we're still coming through 2020. And here is Kathy Barrick. This is Rodney, Rebecca's sweetheart. Rebecca is finished, framed, and on the wall. And she's very lonely. And every time I look up at her, I'm like, oh, poor baby, you need Rodney. So here's Rodney, her companion. And I'm stitching him with all the called for dinky dye. No, it's NPIs and silken colors. He has done his main bodies of Silken Colors. And so I'm doing, it's solo dyed. I think it's like a coffee dyed someone had gave me. This is embarrassing. But if I was really embarrassed, I'd actually stitch on it and show you more. But this is where I'm at. I own it. So it's a center, start, and just a little bit over. I do want to stitch on this one this year. I know as I say that, I really should watch myself because Lynn is taking notes as she's watching. Right, Lynn? You're taking notes? And she said she was going to keep me on task this year. And those of you who know me, that's a big task to take on. I think she was just trying to scare me. All right, now we have Rodney. Oh, wait, Christmas Makers. And this is the last one from 2020, Christmas Makers by The Primitive Hare. I love this piece. I did stitch on it some this year. I don't remember when. Or maybe the year before. Maybe the year before. But I'm doing it on the called for fabric, which is an Anne Boleyn by The Primitive Hare, 30 count. And there it is. It's got a lot of the words and the border. The border is what was, I think it's all the border, that really thick border going around. So, but I don't know if this one's in the list or not. I vaguely remember what my list was. Because I was so happy till I saw how many WIPs I had last year compared to this year, and it was only like 4 difference. I thought, ooh, I could do, if I picked 38, I could be, half my WIPs would be done. Because I did 40 finishes. Yeah, right. I looked at that and I'm like, oh well. I'm not going to put too much pressure on myself, but I might work on getting some of them down. I want to. I still love these guys. And now the first one in 2021. And if you've looked at the designer focus designer list for 2026, which is always in the drop-down menu of every one of our videos, you'll see that Bella Filipina is one of the designer focus designers for this year. I think it's like June. I want to say it's June. Maybe not. But anyway, you guys can check that out. Here's Bellatrix. She is going to be my main woman for designer focus month for Bellatrix, for Bella Filipina. Look at that. Look at that book. When I got that book done in the candles, I was so happy. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And then all the arch up here with the black Krynic. Yep. And then I got to this purpley dress. I'm like, ugh, purple. But, and she is on, what is she on? She is on 28 count Banshee, Fabrics by Stephanie. This is one of my favorite colors because there's lots of colors in there and it's very moody. See how the flame is, you got the reflection there. So yeah. So I gotta finish that dress. I think it goes down more. But yeah, she is definitely my Bella Filipina. Gotta finish her this year. I love this lady. And next one here is Bats in the Belfry. Every year since 2021, I've pulled this thing out and I'm like, oh yeah, I should focus on that. I should get it done. Yeah, why not? Yeah, because it looks like it's almost done, right? Well, this is from the Drawn Thread, and it's on a 32 count Cafe Mocha Country French. I don't even know where I got that from. That's a weird fabric. But it's not that much to do until you look at that top of that tree and that moon. So there's a lot of solid stitching coming up to the top. And then all the bats coming out of the pumpkin there are they're specialty stitch, well, they're satin stitches, satin stitch bats, which I've done some of them up in here, but I got burnt out on them because I did them all at once. And then when I got down here, I'm like, okay, I gotta take a break, and I've been taking a break since 2021. But I don't know, maybe this one should be on the list. I want to try to get more non-Halloween stuff done for the shop, to try to keep the shop more diversified. So, all right. And this was my birthday start for 2021. It's on my favorite fabric. It's from my favorite designer. And I feel like I've neglected it. It is a big piece though, but it's called Newcastle Bouquet by Teresa Kogut. Look at those colors. Oh, it just pops. And I'm using 32 count Cosmic Platinum from Dames the Needle. One of my favorite of all colors. And you can see I have very little done. Look at that. Oh, wow. Yeah, there's a lot to go. But I really want to work on this. Look at the white. It's looking really good on this fabric. The thing about Cosmic Platinum, and a lot of things about these fun dyed, I call them fun dyed pieces because they're really, when you're at a shop and you see them, you're like, oh, I got to have it because it's really unique. And each piece is always different, so you never know what you're going to get. They're kind of like a mystery fabric, and that's what makes them fun. So it's very hard to sell online because it's like, how do we show every corner? Because you can get a whole yard of it, and every four corner will be completely different. So it's definitely a fun fabric. I think that's why I do a lot of patriotic stuff on it. All right, next one from, oh, okay, now we're getting into Christmas. From 2021 is, I tried to stitch on this. Did I? No, I didn't. I looked at it this year. So it's called So Much Fun by Hands On Design. It's the little pinnets. And what I'm learning is, well, it's on opalescent. I quit stitching on opalescent years ago because it was messing with my eyes. And now at the shop, it's hard for me to stitch on it because you got to really focus. And I got to have a piece at the shop that I can pick up and stop and talk and chat and do things. And then when I come home, my eyes are tired. So then it doesn't go by as much. But I got one done, 1 out of 3. And I just got to get this. See, oh yeah, there you go. You guys can see the opalescent. This is a 32 count white opal. But I wouldn't restart it, or I wouldn't do it on anything else. I think it really needs to have that sparkle to be a winter piece. Because I pulled this out when I pulled out Secret Santa, because it was a toss-up between, ooh, Secret Santa. Ooh, this one's only got 2 that it has to be done. Secret Santa had like 6. I did the Secret Santas. So, I know. All right, next one for 2021 is from Cherished Stitches. It's called The Undertaker. And it is on a 32 count coffee dyed fabric. It's all a mono piece. I'm seeing a trend here. My mono pieces don't seem to get as much stitching as I do my colored pieces. So here's The Undertaker by Cherished Stitches. And I don't even know what color thread I'm using at the moment because I didn't take it out of the bag. I didn't want to lose my threads like I did the year before. So I left all the threads in the bags. So here is my start. It's still a start. It's not much more. Oh gosh. I don't know. So there is that piece. And now when I pull this one out, I'm like, I gotta get this one done. I gotta get this one done. It's a Halloween one. I don't care. Diversify this. Okay, so here is another girls' night out from Just Nan. I do not have a Just Nan finished in the shop, so that's my justification of I need a Just Nan finished in the shop. So here's Girls' Night Out. It's small. Look how little. It's like a million color changes, but it's small. It's a million color changes. Look at her. I have a headless witch. I don't know if I'm gonna give her a head or not. But it's on, ooh, this is another, no wait, this is the wrong fabric. I wanna say, this is a Fiber on a Whim fabric. Fiber on a Whim. I wanna say it's like Oaken? No, not Oaken. I know it's a Fiber on a Whim. I have it labeled wrong. I don't know what it is, but it's definitely a Fiber on a Whim. You guys can kind of, it looks like a Fiber on a Whim. You know, I don't know what that is. Buttermilk? Is it buttermilk? Is that a color? I think it is. It might be buttermilk. Or her other color. I think she's got another one that's a little more brown. So this is on, I know it's a 32, but it's Just Nan. And I just got to get it. I have it on my list. Basically what I do is I have a massive list and I just circle things like remember when you were kids and you got that Christmas catalog, you like circled it the first week of Christmas, you circled what you liked, and then the second week you said, ooh, I want that too, and the third and fourth. The day before Christmas, you had the whole catalog circled. I was that kid. All right, and then this one is definitely on my list because, okay, this guy, I started him back in 2021, and then it was like impossible to get the pattern because we couldn't find it anywhere. Silly me. I don't know why I didn't think about reaching out to the designer, but it's an Amy Brucken, and she did retire in August, so I was able to purchase her last copies of this chart. This is called the Frankster. Here's Frankster, and here he is. He's all DMC. He's a cutie. She did him on there's something banana, 30 count banana popsicle by Weeks Dye Works, so it's like a yellow. But I found this piece on, it's lime polka dot. It's a printed fabric. I don't think it's a Picture This Plus. I think I got it off of Witchold. I don't remember where I got it from. I have to keep looking for it. I've been looking for it, and I couldn't figure out where I got it from. But I'll keep looking. So here is Frankster. He is definitely he's got to be done this year. Because I have patterns, and I need a model. And I love this guy. And yeah, 32 count it was 32 count lime polka dot. I want to say it was it was a fabric flare, but the piece I have doesn't have any. They always print on there, so my little piece I have doesn't have any documentation printed on it. But I hope it's still made because I love it. Let's see, we got Wolf Block. I did stitch on this year, which I didn't show you guys because I figured it wasn't enough to show you. So I'll show you now. This is Wolf Block. And see, this is what it looks like when it's all open. I want to have it finished like a block because I don't have any blocks finished at the shop. And I'm coming up to the part where there's the dog that looks a little bit like Princess Leia, and then there's the poodle. And I'm going to change the poodle to be Ginger's color, but we're going to pretend we're changing the other dog to look like Princess Leia because it's kind of similar. She won't know the difference. I did pick a fabric that's a little too light, so I have to backstitch all the white bones. All the little bones I had to backstitch, and there's a whole bunch of bones on the bottom. So this is, it's a 32 count Lugana, and I think I don't know what it's called. It's just a gray. I thought it would be dark enough, but it's neat. It should have got a color a little bit darker, so the white would pop. But we're gonna go with it. Make it work. So all my bones will be backstitched because they're just there at the. You can barely see them already. They're at the bottom. I should have used the called for fabric, but I wasn't listening, and I wasn't reading. Okay, we still have a ton of stuff to show from 2021, so you guys can kind of tell this was my one of my bad years. All right, next one is from Plum Street. It's called Salem Sisters. She has like 3 patterns called Salem Sisters. This is the first one. Yeah, there's like 2 and 3, but here's the first one. This is the one that I liked the most. And it's all words. You say, oh, word stitch fast, but you have to stitch on it to get it done. I have this much done. And my fabric, I know my fabric. It is called, it's 28 count Earth by Crosswing Collections. I love their fabric because theirs is painted, so it's not dyed. So it's a true 28. It's not shrunken or anything because of their process. They don't dip and dye, so they spray. And it is the same. It's similar on the both. There's always one side a little bit lighter, a little bit darker, so this one's a little less because they lay it down and spray it. So you got to pick and choose what side you want to stitch on, how vibrant you want it, and then also if you really wanted the vibrant side, double check before you stitch. Right, Walt? You know that. So there's that piece. This is gonna be a long video. All right. Next one is Halloween Shop by Fairy Wool in the in the wood, and I'm stitching it on the called for fabric. I love this piece because it's monster shopping, doing monster shopping. It's called Halloween Shop. So they're buying their witches' hats and Dracula's clothes and all that fun stuff. So I'm doing on 32 count. This thing is bigger than what I thought, and I think that's what got me, because I'm like, oh, this looks pretty, it should be pretty quick. Look how, I'm only stitched this one woman. Look how big, that's really big on 32 count. And it's called 32 count Witch Tina. So, I don't remember who died. I'm not sure who dies Witch Tina. I think it's her. It's one of the Italian designers. But Witch Tina, when you get it fresh, which is not fresh anymore, still smells good, but it doesn't smell like coffee anymore. So there is, and it's all DMC. So I'm loving this, loving it, but I don't think it's on my list. Now we have, this piece right here, which I have taken to a retreat or two and stitched on it because it was a fun one to stitch on. It's Glendon Place, Come Sit a Spell. And I am backstitching as I go because I've learned some things. I don't always listen, but sometimes I learn. So here is where I'm at. This is on 28 count Changeling, which is similar to Banshee, but it's not as, it's a little bit lighter. So I kind of placed it, I was focusing on this spot because I wanted the little mousy there to have like the spotlight. So I kind of, it's off-centered. I wasted a lot of fabric, but I wanted that, that looked like you get the moon there, and then once the other window comes down and over there, it'll look like he's got a little spotlight on him. So I have done the back stitching on the cat, the window, done it on her. I love the skull chair. So yeah, I wonder if she's gonna make it on the list. I think she might. I think she may. I think she might. It's almost Halloween tonight. Not really. All right, the next two is again theme, solid one color stitching. Not my friend. So these two I started at the same time when they came out. They're from Nora. It's called, we have Claire. Here's Claire. That's what she will look like one day. And then we have Evanora. Evanora. I think it's Evanora. So that's how they are there. And I'm doing them on Fiber on a Whim, 32 count jalapeno. So it's from, remember, 2021. 4 years, almost 5 years now they've been sitting. Oh, that's a spot. I thought I was a white spot here, but it's actually a spot on my camera. Okay, so there we go there. So I got a lot of her done, so she's closer. Poor girl, she got like nothing done. But these were started in May 2021, so I was doing Mania. So it was probably a day of stitching, because I think it's how we used to do it back in May. And for some reason, I did them on the same day. So I did this one probably in the evening, and then like an hour or so before the end of the day, I started this one, so I could say they both started on the same day, which was kind of silly, but hey, I got them started. All right, now we got, oh, this one makes me sad because I can't get this fabric, and I really love this piece. So this is the Raven Queen by Nora Corbett. Here she is. I have a lot of her done. I got a lot of it. I think I have most of the dress done. So here she is. And I'm still debating whether I would do just her or the whole thing. So today I want to do the whole thing. Tomorrow, maybe just her. But I really wish we were able to get this fabric, but we can't. So I'm sorry. But maybe that's why she's still hanging around, because I'm kind of sad moment with her. All right, I'm coming close. All right, here we go. And here we have a a Plum Street. This is the reason that I came up with the designer focus designer process that we do in GaRon, because I found out I kept stitching the same designers over and over and over, and all my stash of other designers never saw the light of day. So this designer focus every month kind of forces me to pull out one of those designers, try them, stitch on them, finish them. And then that's probably why some of these are still sitting here. So here is Plum Street, Eat Crow. I think last year when I did this, I pulled it out and like, oh, I should finish this. And then because I have all this done, I said, look, he's almost done. Pumpkin, Kryptonite. So this is on 32 count vintage beeswax. I want to say that's probably R&R, which is something you can't order. You can only buy it when it's available. So this is, it's called Eat Crow. And then there's the companion that says Buzz Off, which is a crow talking to everyone. So I want to do that one too. So I think they're kind of fun. They're not really Halloween-y, so they're more autumn-y, because there's no jack-o'-lantern. It's just a pumpkin. So that's autumn. So he could go in my autumn area. Or in the men's holding area that we have at the shop for the snarky stuff. But he doesn't say anything snarky. Oops, sorry. Oh. All right. Okay, there's that. Oh. All right. Now we're back. This next one, sometimes when you get a piece of fabric and you're like, I really want this fabric and I want it for this project and I got to start it. I got to find the placement. I got to get it right because right now it's in my head and I got to get it done. And then you get it started and you're like, okay, I'm done. I figured out the spot. I kind of like this. I hope the fabric works. This is what happened with this project. This is Gypsy Queen by Mirabilia. Look at those oranges and purples, and she's very vibrant. That little bit of teal there. So I got this fabric from X-Jude. It's called Halloween Pumpkin, and it's a 32 count. Again, I just have that top of her head done because I wanted to place it. So it's placed, and I'm liking the colors, playing with it so far. And the other colors are much brighter, and I think this might work. I gotta count down to get some of the dress color stitched in to see if it's really gonna work, but I'm loving it. It's more of a pinky, there's more pink in this piece than orangey orange, so I think it'll work. I don't know, I think she's a big girl, so she can dominate any piece. So, and that's, I think it's X-Jude. Yeah, Halloween Pumpkin is X-Jude. All right. And we have another one that's an embarrassing start. It's Poltergeist Pirate by Glendon Place. And this was 2121, so you thought, oh yeah, I have all the threads locked up in this project, waiting to pick it up, waiting to stitch on it. This is what I got done. At least I know what's up, because I got the little basket there to know that's the center of the boat or ship. I don't know, I'm not a pirate, so. And I'm using the called for fabric. It's 28 count bang, and it was the special cut for this piece because it's a big piece. And my thing is I wanted to get the Christmas nativity piece done, so that was my focus piece for Glendon Place for last year. I hope I'm not moving the camera too much on you guys. If you get dizzy or something, I'm sorry. All right. Oh, I lost this one too. Okay, there's a couple of them. All right, so here's another hands-on design. Coastal Holiday. And Coastal Holiday it's the little box with the little cabins, and then you do the little ornaments. So I started with the box first. Again, I think my fabric might be a little too light, but now that I look at it, I think it's just fine. It was just, so here is 32 count Cottage Stone. Don't know who that's by. And I'm using the called for threads. I think it was a thread pack or something for this. And there it is. Is there 4 houses? I don't know. So it is a kind of it's a Christmassy beach piece, so it really should be done and put on the wall. And it can't really be put on the wall, can it? Because it's a box. Ooh, I got display places that I need. Ooh, I need 3D models for the shop. There you go. So this could be on the list. I may be rearranging my list. And this next one, I am so embarrassed. I truly am, because this was our Halloween mystery box from 2021. I think so. I think it was 2021 because I started it October. I started on Halloween 2021, and I did finish the berry. As I can tell you, say, oh, berry, it's an Erica Michaels. So, and I was stitching the other piece, the main piece in it, and then I was stitching it, and I got ahead of everybody, and then I stopped to slow down because I was way ahead, and then I never picked it back up. That's why in my mind, I no longer do stitch-alongs. I do start-alongs. I'll start with you, and how it goes at the end is how it's going to go, because when the thread calls to me and I'm stitching it, I might get it done way faster than what you're planning on getting it done. And I don't want to make anybody upset anymore. So if you want to start something with me, you're always welcome to start. I can't, or I either finish it really quick or it just lingers. And I have a couple of those that's lingering, because we'll talk about those when we get to them. So here is All Hallows Eve by Erica Michaels. So I did finish this piece. I haven't done that yet. I'm working on this piece. So I started this, and then I went and I started the other one, the patriotic one and the Christmas one, after I started this one, and both of them are finished and on the wall. So that's why I'm really embarrassed, because I love this piece. Look at, I started in the middle, right where Frankenstein and the bride is. Oh, and it's the called for fabric on the threads. But yeah. And it goes really quick because of the blocks. You just do the blocks and do the letters and do the blocks, do the letters. It's like, oh my gosh. I don't think if I rearrange the Halloween wall, I might have room to put this up if I finish it. I have to see who's going to move, because I can't expand my Halloween wall. It's got to stay contained. I got to contain that Halloween. All right, so that's it from page 1. I only have 2 pages, so I'm pretty good. So let me stand up and move this over. You guys can look at the wall behind me. That's my mess back there. And I'll give you a sneak peek of the next stack as I move them over. Here's the next stack. All right. I work this way. I know. I'm. Oh, I found a. Okay, no, I need that for now. All right, I thought I found a photo of one of my other WIPs, but it's one that's coming up. See what I mean? I lose things all the time. All right, so let's get to the next group of WIPs that you just saw. So we have from the Scarlet House, Christmas Tide at Holly House. Yes, I always complain about snowflakes, but I always seem to gravitate towards snowflakes. But this piece called me because I love the little reindeers jumping over the little snow down here. I didn't even know there were snowflakes, so someone said, hey, you know there's snowflakes? I'm like, where? The whole half of it up there's got snowflakes. And I'm doing this on 28 count only because I should have done it on 32, but I'm only doing on 28 count because this color really worked with the threads. And I'm doing it with the NPI threads. We called for silks. And here is, I'm a little out of breath here. Here's my piece where I'm at. It's 28 count French vanilla. I think it's by R&R. Okay, those are 2 windows. There are 5 windows across the top of that house. So this is going to be a very big piece on 28 count. But it's good because you'll definitely be able to see the deer, and it's going to look good up on the wall for Christmas in the Christmas section. All right. And now we come down. Okay, next one here is Christmas Garden. I have 1/4 of the Christmas Garden done. And I was thinking, I wish it was more red, but I got too much in my mind. I have too much done to restart it, and I'm using I'm using Vicky Clayton's conversion, and I pulled the called for threads, and the reds are just as pink in that as it is in the Vicky Clayton. So I should have. I don't know. I keep going back and forth. So this may be a restart, or it may be a focus piece for this year. But here is Christmas Garden. Doesn't look too bad. I think it looks okay. Just go with it and finish it probably. And here's what it's going to look like when it's all finished. So it's a great piece. See, it's not really overly red anyway, even when it's finished. So, and it's in this book from Blackbird. So it's a Blackbird design. Home for the Holidays book. And it's called Christmas Garden. I don't know. I flip back and forth every second. I think I'm just going to go with it because I have the threads and everything there and just finish the other 3 pages and put it up on the wall. So why not? All right. And then because I just finished Nativity. So here's 3 Kings from Glendon Place. We 3 Kings. And I'm doing them on the same fabric that I did the Nativity on. It's Desert Night. That was Fabric Flare. I worked with Fabric Flare to have them make this fabric for me because I wanted this fabric for this group of designs. Because in my mind, I kept seeing a lot of Starry Night fabric or solid blue fabric, and I'm like, yeah, but they're like they're in the sky. I need them to be grounded. So I started with the middle king. And I started at the bottom here so I could get the placement because he's the one that's up the most. And the other 2 will be more grounded down here. So there he is. Is the green coming through? Yep. So he will definitely be a focus piece for this year because, it took them a year to get there in my mind. I don't know. So they got to be done. So that's definitely... but they're going to be really good. And I'm doing it on the 32 count Lugana Desert Night. And we do have more on order. I ordered it before the holiday, and so when Fabric Flare gets back to work and starts putting their orders in production, hopefully we'll get it, in a good line in the production, and they'll get it to us relatively, at least sometime next year. And now we have another Rosewood Manor. I can tell you right now, this one is not on my focus for 2026 because I have so many Rosewood Manors, as you can tell. This one, I had to not this one, definitely not this one for 26. I started it with Gina, and there was somebody else on Zoom that I started with, that it was the 3 of us and some other people. I can see her face on Zoom. And she's gonna kill me. She's like, you forgot my name. No, I know your face. But we all started this Quaker Diamonds by Rosewood Manor with the called for fabric and the called for Valdani threads, which these are the threads right here. And they went gangbusters. I got 1 page done. And so this is the called for fabric and the called for threads. I love this piece, but I have some other Rosewood Manors that I want to get done because I haven't seen a lot of people stitch them. And I know there's a lot of people who stitch this piece, and I want to focus on some of the other Rosewood Manors that I like that aren't, a lot of people haven't seen. So I think it's kind of fun. And speaking of which, here might be one of them. Green, go figure. Green on green. How can I not do this one? It's got my name all over it in the beginning and the end. So it's green on green. Now she did it on 28 count Pampas by Picture This Plus, and she used Weeks Dye Works Cadet. I'm using a different color palette. So I am using, got my card there. I'm using 32 count Romaine by Crosswind Collection. It's that painted fabric. And then I'm using a Balsois. I'm using colored greens. Ta-da! So I'm doing that. And it's only one color. And it's Alphabet. This one is the one that kept calling me when I was stitching Witching Hour last year. And I'm like, okay, get through Witching Hour, get through Witching Hour, get through Witching Hour. Then you can play with this one. So I made it through Witching Hour. And I like this one because I love all this stuff over here. That's kind of like, I guess that's the part that makes it a sampler. But this is the fun part. It's going to be fun. All right. And I am loving that color on that fabric. All right, next one, where are we at? We are at another Blackbird. This is called Summer Jubilee. And here's Summer Jubilee. Okay, yeah, there we go. So there's Summer Jubilee. And I don't know where I got this fabric at or what it's called because it just said fabric yes. I do know it's a 32 count. And it's close. It's not the called for, but it looked pretty close in the picture. And I'm doing this with Vicki Clayton's silk thread pack. And I know the reason when I look back why a couple of my Vicki patterns that I'm doing Vicki Clayton's with were lingering is because her threads are on those bobbins. Those bobbins are a nightmare for me. So I'm so glad that she's gone away from the bobbins, even though it was because I started taking them off the bobbins and putting them on floss drops and cutting the threads from the links, and I'm stitching so much better and I'm more relaxed with them because you get in your comfy spot, you pull off the thread, you sit it on the arm of your sofa, and then you move, and then you drop it, and it goes up under the sofa, and you gotta stop your stitching, you gotta look for it, dust it off if it's dusty, find it, and then you got to try to wrap that extra thread or put it in a baggie or I don't know. It was a me thing, and I'm like, what? I don't know why I didn't think about taking it off the bobbins earlier, but this year I started taking them off the bobbins. I'm like, I'm having so much fun with them now. So I have a lot more projects with the Vicki Clayton silks for that reason as well. All right, next one is where we at? We're at this is one I am stitching with Karen from Fox and Rabbit. It's from Plum Street. It's called A Ghoul-Tide Welcome. There is A Ghoul-Tide Welcome. And I'm stitching it on 32 count Flannel Flowers by Fox and Rabbit because I'm stitching it with Miss Fox and Rabbit, Karen from Fox and Rabbit. So there is that. And I'm using what am I using? I'm using the NPI silks on this one. And there's that. And I'm loving it. How big is that house? Is that house? Yeah, but it's going good. It's going good. I'll get there. So there's that piece. I don't know if that one's on my list or not. I can't remember. Next one I know is not on my list to do. This is a Lifetime piece. It's my only full coverage. I don't do a lot of them. I've only done one of them. So this is my second full coverage. So this is Uninvited. I had to get it because I was afraid that I wouldn't be able to get it one day if I really wanted to start, I couldn't get it. So I got it so I could make sure I had it. And it's Uninvited by Charting Creations. And I'm doing it on 20 count Ada. I think it's like a gray. Do I have the name of it written somewhere? No, I think it's like a gray Ada. But I needed some. I didn't want white so you could see it through there. And I'm using one strand, and I'm doing a complete X with one strand. And I think I'm on page 3. Yeah. Oh, look at that. Every time when I see this thing here, it looks amazing. Oh, I love this piece. All right. So, but I know what'll happen if I start stitching on it. You guys will see nothing for the next year and a half, except for that piece, because I am like a dog with a bone when it comes to that, because that's what I did with Merman. I stitched on him solid for 9 months until he was done. I ate, slept, drank Merman. That was all I did. And that sounds like weird. Oh, anyway, whatever. But that was that's how I'm with the full coverage, because I get like, you're just like carried away with the little stitching going on there, and I can't put it down. But I want to keep the videos, and I want to keep my stitchy life more creative and varied, more varied, not creative, varied. So that's why I'm all over the place, because I love it all. And here's my next Rosewood Manor. This one is on my short list to work on this year, because growing up in Germany, this piece really speaks to me, because it's kind of it's a masculine sampler. It reminds me of Germany. There's nothing really German in there, but it's just, I don't know, it's just very European. It's hunter-gatherer. Could be the animals. But this piece, I love it. And thank God I started with the worst part of the whole piece. This is the part I didn't really care for. So I got it done. I got page one done. I mean, you needed it for the piece. I don't know, it's fine. But I want to get down there to the animals and do all that fun stuff. So this will be my piece. And this is a 32 count Weathered Stone by Atomic Ranch. It's got, sometimes it'll have like brown undertones, sometimes it'll have gray, sometimes it'll have gray green. It all depends on, because it's weathered stone, it depends on the stone, which makes it a fun piece to get. All right, and now we have we're back to Halloween. Yep. So we have this piece should be done. It might be on the list to work on. This is from the Cricket collection. It's called Wickedy. I love this piece because of the frog balloon. And she's already a green witch. So it's Wickedy from the Cricket collection. And she is on 32 count Willow. I don't know who the dyer is, but here she is. And that's a lot of fill in on the dress. I think what happened, I think I might. I am stitching this, I have changed the color of the stars, and then I stole the color for a project. And I got to figure out what rainbow gallery I was using to finish the stars. Yeah, I think I know, I think I might, but I got to figure out, because it's got a little bit of sparkle, but not much. So it's a rainbow gallery Silk Lame, and I got to find my yellow card of what color I use, because I didn't write a note. You guys who journal everything and make the notes of all your stuff and stuff, I'm fascinated with it, but I don't have the concentration or focus to stick to that. I try it, and then I'm not a journaler, so I'm like, I'd rather stitch or just have fun. The next one here, this was a gift from Seazook Stitch, Carolyn. It's from Kesslin's. It's called Five Friends. This is a big piece. It's a very big piece. And it's got to be on 28 count, because you have all this extra stuff you got to add to it, like the charms and chains and all kinds of other really fun flower things and stuff. So I have got 3 of the ladies stitched, and I'm working on this one right here. So here I am. This is on 28 count Prank by Pictures Plus. Where am I? Okay. I'm trying to talk into the camera instead of behind the board, because it gets muffled and you guys are hard to hear me sometimes. So there's that. And this one is got like some kind of fringe. I think the beads are done fringe style where they're hanging down. I don't know. I'm going to have fun figuring out how to attach all this doodads and gadgets and stuff, because I think there's beads in here, because there's lots of things going on. Lots of fun things going on. I may end up doing my own interpretation once it gets down to the nitty-gritty. But hey, make it your own. Figure it out. I don't know. Because in my mind, I want the beads to dangle. I may use bugle beads instead and just have them, I don't know. Bugle beads. Since I have bugle beads now, that's the thing is like when you don't have stuff and you don't know what's out there, you're like, I'll just follow what's in the pattern. But then when you get to see all the stuff that's available, you're like, why can't I use this or that? So then we have the next one here. This is from Meridian Designs. This is called the Dead Sea Mermaid. I love her. I will get her done one day. Her face looks like a hot mess right now because look at that face. She's really got a gorgeous face. Most of that's all back stitching on top of the color. And I haven't got the front of her dress on, so she's kind of like topless right now. So don't judge. So there she is. I got sparkly in the hair. Wow. Karen, you do a really good job with the blending of the way you pick your colors and stuff. Oh, I love this piece. I picked up Frankie's Bride and stitched on Frankie's Bride when I was supposed to do Meridian Designs last year for Designer Focus. And then this year for my birthday month, March, I'll be picking up Frankie to stitch him. So she will have to wait a little bit longer because I've been like, I wanted to start Frankie as soon as we got him, but I'm like, I'm going to do him birthday start. So I'm not only focusing on WIPs this year. I have to start new things. And this is one that was started in November 1st, 2022. Oh yeah, okay, I forgot to tell you guys. So 2022 started with the green on green. So I'm supposed to be counting through the years and I'm not really doing a very good countdown. So here is from Mirabilia, Thanksgiving Harvest Fairy. This chart only is still available because it used to be sold as kits, but now it's just the chart. So there she is. And when Carolyn and I started, I was ahead of her, and then I got distracted, and then she finished. Did you finish? I think she finished. I thought I saw a video where she finished it. I think she finished. If not, she'll just say, yeah, I finished it. So here is Thanksgiving Harvest Fairy by Mirabilia. She is on 32 count, fall into autumn. So I love these slight colors. You can kind of see there. So where I'm at right here, I started in the center. It's her cornucopia stuff she's holding there. So that's good. And this, yeah, so I really want to stitch on her because I don't have a lot of Thanksgiving pieces. She is one of my Thanksgiving pieces I would like to get started. I mean, picked up and worked on. So then we have from Cottage Garden Samplings, which they're very deceptive. They are a deceptive shop because their designs are always on a little piece of paper. So you think, oh, I could start that. That would be done in no time. And then they tell you, oh, the stitch count is 169 by 169. You're like, that's got to be small because it's not 200 or 300. And then you start stitching it on 32 count. And you're like, holy moly, how big is this thing going to be? But I've got, 4 of the circles done? Yep. So I got another 1, 2, 3. I got another 5 to go. Yeah, another 5 to go. But yeah. And this is on 32. No, it can't be 30. Is that 36? No. What did I do with my numbers? Yeah, that is 36. Okay. And it's still pretty big. So this is on 36 count Duxbury by Fox and Rabbit. And because Duxbury by Fox and Rabbit is not dyed like their normal fabrics, it's more of a painted finish or a splash on. I don't know. Whatever finish they have, it doesn't shrink as much as their other normal dyed fabrics. So this is one that's not color fast, so they tell you not to wash it. So that's why I say when I see 36, I'm like, I don't stitch on 36. So if I'm stitching on 36, it's because that piece of fabric is almost like a 32. It's not as small as a normal 36, so I can actually stitch on it relaxed because I stitch with 2 threads. And I love the feel of 2 threads, and it's not bulky But look at the depth of that. It's really cool. And I think, yeah, it was most of that, all that grid work is done with Weeks Dye Works charcoal. And I think that's why I stopped where I did, is because I ran out of my skein of Weeks Dye Works charcoal. So, and then of course I went into another month, so then I picked up something else. All right, now this stack must be all my problem children. This next one here is from Joan Elliott, and I'm stitching it on 32 count Smack the Jellyfish by Live and Die in LA. And here is the piece. It's all black. There's a little bit of orange in there. Yep. And I know a couple of you have already finished this when we started our start along with this. So here is where I'm at. I think I got some of it stitched on. I want to say I stitched on some of this year. I think I did because because I got some of the alphabet done. So here is what it looks like. I think it's going to be okay. I don't think it's too busy. I started worrying that it might be too busy for the piece, but I think once that solid black gets in there, I think it's going to be okay. Yeah, I think it's going to be okay. Because when you look at it like that, it looks good. See, when you get all the, because right now when you see like this, it's like, ooh, that's really busy. But when you just look at what you're stitching, it doesn't look as bad. And that's how it's going to look when it's framed. All right. I don't think that's on my short list. This next one is on my list to get done. What did I say before that my kryptonite is snowflakes? Oh yeah. Let's let it snow, and it's all snowflakes with that little cute reindeer at the bottom. So I love this piece. I had to put it in timeout, and I was kind of disappointed with it because I messed up. I'm doing it on 32 count Stillwater fabrics by Stephanie, and this was a fabric that I named. I was able to name it. I don't know if it's still available because I think she had a problem getting the dyes. I vaguely remember that. So this is where I'm at. I got one snowflake done because I had to frog. See that big snowflake right there, that big one right there in the middle? I had that all done, and I was getting ready to start this next one, and I noticed that sucker was up 3 stitches. It was up 3 stitches above where it was supposed to be. So I'm like, people say, oh, just keep going with it. And I'm like, no, because this goes straight, and then that goes up. And that would drive me crazy. So I frogged it all out. Did I frog it, or did Ronnie frog it? You know what? I think Ronnie frogged it for me. Yeah, I think he did. And then, because I picked my own color, I picked a Karen Water Lily pearl. And I wasted so much of that thread that had to be thrown away. I was worried that I didn't have enough. So I ordered more. And then I had to make sure it came in because Karen Water Lilies has dye lots. And I had to make sure my dye lot matched. And then I got lucky. I think, no, I got a different dye lot. So I have to play with this snowflake one, this one, that one, that. So it's going to be balanced. That's what it was. So my problem child. This child is going to be taken care of this year. He is going to be on the wall and finished by the end of the year. Because I'm a glutton for punishment. I love snowflakes. Did I say that? All right. Here's my next one. Oi, 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 oi. All right, this is another one I'm doing with Vicky Clayton's, which I have to take off the bobbins, off the little plastic bobbins, and put on thread drops so I can get it really done. I'm doing it on a 36 count paper bark with 1 thread, and it's the Scary Sampler. Heartstring Sampler does not do Halloween. This was 2 years of me like putting that earworm in her head, please, 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 please. And this was her version of Halloween. And I love the fact that everything that's in the front, she gave where it inspired from, because there's like there's a Death Star from Star Wars, there's pterodactyls, there's the Doctor Who angels, there's some other things from other movies, there's a snake from Beetlejuice going up the tree, I think. And then there's like alien heads in the, oh, you can't really see. There's alien heads in the vines that look like leaves, and then this flower is from Stranger Things. I want to say it's, yeah, the flower is from the Stranger Things. It's like all the really cool things that I really love. So I don't know how she picked out all the cool things that I really love. So and then 42 is the answer to the universe from Hitchhiker's Guide to the Universe. Is that what it is? I don't know. So here is my progress. Where am I at? There I am. Oh, it's looking really good. I want this one done this year. Lynn, what am I up to? Did I say that for all 73 of these WIPs? I hope not. And then we have, when we had designer focus this year for Fox and Rabbit, I picked Bath Time 1. I don't think it's a series yet, but she might make it one day. So I got the giraffes done. And then I got to the solid stitching. As you can tell, there's solid stitching all down there at the bottom of the bathtub. All that floor is stitched, is all blocks and blocks of solid stitching. And where are we at? We are on, oh, this is a 32 count solo die. So I don't know what it's called. There we go. It looks like a straw color. I don't know. But it reminds me of like, like grass cloth, kind of like I think that's why I really picked it, because it was like kind of like because it's got, wild animals, and I think a grass cloth and all that stuff from the 80s. But I love this piece. I do love it. I really, really, really love it. And I don't know if it's on the list or not. That list is constantly changing, growing, and whatever it's decided on at the beginning of the year will probably be different once we get to the end of the year. So it's just a list. And then here is the next one. This one is really close. There's a lot of counting. It's a big piece of fabric. There's a lot of counting, but there's not a lot of stitching left to do once I finish the chicken. So this is High Flying Bunny by Little Robin. High Flying Bunny by Little Robin. And you can see even on her fabric, the clouds don't really show. She did do that. I don't know if there's a back stitch under there or stitching. I can't remember offhand. I think it might be a back stitch. But there's that. So I have the carriage almost. All of the carriage done. So he's a big piece. There we go. Oh, there, I can see myself now. So once I get the carriage finished and then the chicken done, then there's a lot of counting to get to those little scattered flowers and then come up here on the hill. I have some of my clouds. Oh, there it is. You can see my clouds there. But I think once you put the gray up under there, they'll pop a little bit. And I'm doing this on, please don't murder me. That's not the name of the fabric. I'm doing it on 32 count Graveyard Mist by Lap and Loops. But the color looked really good. I mean, I thought the color looked really good. So, because it had some gray up in there when I had it laying out. All right, there's that. And now here goes all the people that's going to correct me on what I'm going to say. But I've tried. I know where the movie is. I know about the movie. I know where the name comes from. I know about the leg and all that stuff. So here is A Tisket a Tasket by Rosewood Manor. This one's not on my list to get done this year, because I want to get some of those older ones done. And this is done on 32 count Fragile. And that's how I'm going to say it. But I know I'm going to get at least 3 of you to make comments. So thank you for your comment. I love you. And I'm using the Vicki Clayton silk pack for this one. And look at that white. That white is really showing up. It kind of shows up here in person, but when you look at it on the screen, it looks really good. I mean, it's just an accent. in their highlight. So I like that. And this was from Stitching in the Wild, exclusive from Erica Michaels. Was it last year? Last year, 2024. Oh, we're in 2024 now. Yeah, we jumped through because 2023, I only had 3 WIPs from 2023, 10 in 2022, and I have 9 in 2024. So, all right. So it was an exclusive for GaRon Stitching in the Wild. It's called A Frightful Assembly, and it is chocked full of a ton of patterns. Because you got the big piece that you can do. You got all the little pillows. Every one of those can be broken out into pillows, and then they also can be broken out into berries. So you could have 7 berries. You could have 7 pillows. Because the first one right here, she did not make an alternate. Yeah, that one she didn't make an alternate for you to do other things with, but everything else you can. But I think you can make another pillow with that one if you wanted to. So I'm not doing it on the called for fabric because when I saw this fabric from Lap and Loops, it really called my thinking cap to it. I love the colors of it. And here, this is all I've got done so far. I've got 1 and maybe a part of 1 done. And this is on 32 count Mothman. Look at that. This is a really good color. I mean, that would have looked good for the Bride of Frankenstein too. Oh man, I've already stitched her. Oh well. But Mothman, I think it's a great, cool fabric for many things. There we go. And I want to focus on the big piece, and then later I will get these little pillows done and the berries. All right, and now my other Thanksgiving piece. Sarah's already finished hers. She's already got hers hung up. And I think Leanne, were you doing yours too? Was she doing one? Did she finish hers already? I think so. I think I'm the last one, but I started late. I was late to the party. I think I was dragged, and clobbered into this party. But I did want to stitch this. I did want to stitch it. So I was a willing participant. Sir Thomas by Glendon Place. That is the most gorgeous turkey ever with all the colors. And it's such a blingy bling piece. It's done with a lot of silk lame from Rainbow Gallery, and it's got lots of beads in it. And I'm doing it on, I don't have a card for this. I am doing it on 32 count sampler khaki by XG Designs. It's like a greenish olivey color. And he is looking amazing. Look at that. Oh. I didn't stitch on him this year, but he was worked on last year. Oh man, look at that. Oh, this piece here, I did stitch on it this year, so it was part of my stitching. I don't keep up with what I stitch on between projects. Sometimes, like, I'm waiting for something and I'll just pick up one of my WIPs. That's the point of having WIPs, is I just pick up one of my WIPs and stitch on it for a little bit. In between when one finishes and something else is supposed to start. Like typically, like if I finish something that I was stitching on like on the 25th of the month, and I'm waiting for the 1st of the month for starting the next designer focus piece, so I'd have 5 days. So I grab one of my WIPs and just stitch on it for a little bit. And normally it's one of those easy pieces to pick up. And now this piece is on the top of the list to get done in 2026. I started it December 1st, 2024, and I completely forgot about it this year, or I would have pulled it out and had it finished. And it's from Madame Chantilly, and it's called Christmas. If you remember, when she's done hers on a very pale fabric, and you can't even see the word Christmas because it's all done in white. Here is mine on 32 count topaz, and I changed the color of Christmas, and yeah, the Christmas, I picked the Rainbow Gallery. Can you see it? Can you see it? Is it sparkly? SP48. So SP48 looks gray on the card, and then when you start stitching on it on a color, it whitens up because it's got that silvery sparkle in there. So that's what gives it that grayish tone, but it really looks good. But everything else I did called for colors. It's all DMC. So I got the M. I need the AS, and then I think there's a Santa over here. I lost my cover page. I looked all through the bag. So I don't know what I did with it. I looked all through the shop. I couldn't find it in the shop either. So this is Christmas by Madame Chantilly. And now this next one should have been done, but it's on a 40 count. And me and 40 count, I play with 40 count. I'm not a focus stitcher on 40 count because I only do it for a little bit, and then I'm like, okay, I'm over. So this was from our Christmas box last year, and it's on 40 count baked clay by Fox and Rabbit. I got a special mini board for this one. So this one's got its own little mini board that I show it. So here we are. So I'm getting ready to do the fa la 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 la, and then we get down to the deer, and then the trees, and then that solid row back down there. So I had this one stays at the shop with me. It's in the back room, and I always forget about it to pull it out and stitch on it. I don't know what else to do to make me actually focus on it, but I could work on it. It's 40 count. I'm not going to put any pressure because I've already got that other 40 count that I really want to get done. And then there's another one that I want to focus a little bit on. So we'll see how it goes. And now we have Feliz Navidad. I started this with someone, and we were stitching it on the 25th of every month. And then she dropped out. She said, it's really not something I really, really want. So I really want to focus on what I want. That's the joy of starting your stuff, starting your WIPs. If you never start something in your stash, you don't know if you really, really like it, or you're like, I just like collecting it. I never like stitching it. So there's a difference collecting it and stitching it. So here is Feliz Navidad, and I'm stitching it on 32 count Beez Knees by Seraphim Fabric. I'm using the Vicky Clayton thread pack conversion. I did change the white letters because they were very, very white. And when you have a light fabric, they were supposed to blend in. So I just toned it down a little bit. They're still pretty white, but they're not as bright white. They were like neon white when I used the called for color. So I just pulled another Vicky Clayton silk and used that. I think that's going to be a good balance. So I am liking this piece, and I like the fact that in this piece, it was the light color that blended in, and now on my piece, it's this color right here that's blending in. So it's kind of, it'll change the feel a little bit. I think it'll be okay. So I'm excited for that piece. And then, yes, Manny Dodonna was a designer-focused designer for this year. I did finish one of her pieces I wanted to do, and then I picked up this other one, which I didn't realize until I started stitching it, that you got to stitch it double. You stitch. It's a Halloween Days sewing basket, and it comes with that little wooden handle. I don't know if it's still available or not because she said something about maybe making it available again, but she had issues with sourcing the handle. So I haven't seen it pop up anytime soon. But you know what? I can ask her when she's at Stitching in the Wild. Anyway, so this is the long side. You gotta stitch that piece twice, and then the end pieces, which is right there, you have to stitch that twice. So I'm not good at stitching something I've already stitched. It's hard for me to keep focused on it. I am doing it on, I don't know. I don't know what fabric this is. I don't even say fabric yes. I'm assuming it's a 32 count. I don't know. Hey, 1 out of 73 is not bad. I think I had 2, but all right. My next one. This is one I'm stitching with Sunny. I think I'm stitching with Sunny or Lynn. I know I started this with someone. The Blue Flower Spooky Shoe Bill. It does say Spooky Shoe Bill, but there's really nothing in here that says Halloween. So I'm calling it an animal piece that I can hang up in the animal section at the shop, even though it says spooky. So I'm like, yeah, there's spider webs, but there's spiders normally throughout the year. So I'm using the called for fabric, but I'm doing it on, what did she use? She used 40 count elixir. I'm doing mine on 32 count elixir. And there he is so far. I was enjoying it. I only stitched on a couple of days at the shop. So there he is. Oh, it says, are you guys yelling at me? I'm like, oh, there's nothing Halloween. Nothing Halloween here. I thought those were like little circle windows. Okay, we'll go to the Halloween section because it says boo on it. Okay, now I'm like, oh, silly. All right, there's that. And now we come to, now this one I know I am definitely stitching this one with Sunny. It's the first day of Christmas. I love this piece. But then last night I was stitching with Karen, and she's doing this series this way, all on one big piece of fabric, and it is gorgeous. So I'm like, do I want that or do I want this? But right now, I have this one started. It's almost done because I'm doing it in the tree form. I just got to finish the bird and figure out what I have to stitch around here to know I have enough stitched so when it's made into a tree, it looks good. I've stitched way more than what because I think it's coming out like right there. So some of my stitches will be folded and cut off, but I didn't want to not stitch enough and then you see like the leaf not really finished. So I'd rather stitch more and have the finisher cut it back than not stitch enough and have like half of a motif looking at me kind of weird. So I'm doing the called for fabric. I'm doing this on 32 count elixir. 32 count kudzu, which is weird. See, look at that. It looks so much lighter here than there. And this was my problem, my kryptonite piece, because I had this piece started on this fabric, because this fabric looks like this picture. It does, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. But when you try to stitch those light colored leaves on this fabric, they completely disappear. So I said, okay, so I got kudzu, which is this Weigart based kudzu, because I didn't want to stitch on 30 count. And so I'm doing it. I think it'll be good. It works now. And I promise I did not start in the middle of that fat quarter. I did start up closer to the top so I didn't waste all that fabric. There we have, this is the piece that I started with Gina and Andrea when they came to the shop. They have their house done. They're way down here. I started it that day with them, and I think I stitched on it one other day because I want to make this a focus piece for 2026 because of the anniversary. So this will be my focus piece for this year because Crocette Gogo is one of our designer focus designers for April, June. Look at the list down below. Click on the link down below and look at the list. It's down there. I put a lot of information down there. Click on it. So this is on 32 count Alchemy by Dames of the Needle. And I'm really enjoying, I like this kind of stuff for me. Not a lot of people always like to say, oh, look, there's this weird spot there. I'm like, that's perfect because it's Americana sampler. This thing has been this piece, once it's stitched, has been sitting around for 250 years. They pulled it out for the anniversary. At least that's my story. Hopefully it'll be done, but the white's really popping on there. So I love this piece. All right, and then here is, oh, I got two 40 count projects back to back. This is Real Comfort by Plum Street Sampler, and it is a monster. It's a monster. It's 241 by 235. But it really calls to me. It's that autumny brown color. And I'm doing it with, again, photos versus reality. This photo looks real, the fabric looks really bright. This is 36 count Salt Bush by Fox and Rabbit. And I'm doing mine on 40 count Salt Bush. Why didn't I? Because I didn't have any 36. So I'm doing it on 40 count Salt Bush. Could be why it's darker, but it's definitely darker. And I'm using the Vicky Clayton silk pack, one thread. And I think the colors are really popping. It's giving me that look that I like. So this is not going to be a race. This piece is a marathon piece, because once I get down to all that solid stitching, I may hate my life, but again, I may not, because my issue with 40 count is counting over the skipping and counting, getting to the right spot and not being off. When I'm down here in the solid stitching, I'll just go on and on and on and on, just stitch them all my X's. So I should be good there. Because this piece, next one, is the one that I am super in love with in 40 count. After the reindeer feed sack, this is my uber fun piece, because I was inspired by Lori from Thread Milk, because she came to the Stitching a While last year, and she was stitching this piece, and she changed all her colors to be more, she went really prim with her colors versus the called for. I tried to do that. I'm not very prim. I like bright, a little bright, medium bright. I can't really tone it down enough. So I toned it down a little bit. So this is what they're supposed to look like. This is called Saint Nicholas. So it's what, 6, 7, 8 little pillows. Keep thinking it's 9 because this one's missing and then there's one up there, but it's the same one. He is the same one that's over here. So that's what keeps throwing me off, thinking that there's 9, but there's only 8 little Santas. And I'm doing it on 40 count. 40 count, where are you at? Country Mouse by Seraphim Fabrics. And here are the two that's done. I left way too much space around them because I'm not sure what I'll get the finisher, how I'll get the finisher to finish them. So I want to make sure I gave them enough space in case we decided something interesting. I didn't want to give her like, oh, you can only do it this way. So I gave her a couple, lots of space. So I'm using a lot of fabric. And then here's the other one I'm working on. So there are those guys. And while I'm stitching them, because I'm using one thread, some of the colors I thought would work kind of didn't work because they blended in with the fabric. When it's only one thread, it wasn't bright enough. So I went a little bit darker, changed a little bit, moved a little bit. I can't think of which one I did that with. I think it was one of the whites. They just totally was not good. So I think it was this guy right here on some of the whites around his thing there. I mean, you can still kind of see it, but it's still good. He's my favorite. I love the little bricks. All right, there's that one. And I really want to get that one done this year because I have been having fun with it. Because in my idea, 40 count, if I'm doing something small, I can hyper focus on the small piece for 40 count and get it done. That Real Comfort might not be too comfortable when I'm stitching on it, but I love the piece when it's done. Next one. As you guys know, Mondays we stitch murder. Here is the Lola Crow Murder in the Pumpkin Patch. This will be done this year because the girls make me stitch on it on Mondays. I didn't stitch on it this last Monday because I wasn't at the shop. We were closed. So here is the update of where I'm at. I think you guys seen this already once. It's on 32 count Halloween Parade by Manny Dodonna Fabrics. I am right up here, and that's coming close to, there's the pumpkins. next to the barn, so I'm getting close to the barn. I'm like right there. So it's not a lot more to do. It's just that part right there to do. So a couple of more weeks, give or take. And then I have another one. This next one here was a start along with Valerie. Valerie wanted to work on this, and she wanted to start it with me. So she talked me into it. You don't have to twist my arm too much. Oh, yes. Start something. I can start something. So here is Phantom Plantation by Glendon Place. It's a very spooky piece. And I'm doing mine on 32 count Olympia. I think it's Mystic Fabrics. So they did theirs on Feldspar, which has got a lot more blue in there and lighter colors. When I saw this piece of fabric, again, I was traveling and I saw this piece of fabric. I'm like, that looks really terrifying. I mean, that's a very spooky piece of fabric. So I found the fabric. So I went backwards. Then I started looking for a pattern that would go on the fabric. So normally you have the pattern, you're looking for a fabric, but I had fabric and I had found a pattern that way. So I went backwards. So that's why I bought the pattern, because I'm like, ooh, I love this fabric. Maybe that'll work good. Anyway. And we're getting into all, these are the 2025s we've been talking about. So here is my next start along that I'm doing with Andre and Gina. They're my culprits of, they get me into lots of trouble. So here is Salute to Abigail. I'll show you Salute to Abigail. And it's in the Sweet Land of Liberty book, which has got a lot of great pieces in for next year. Here's Salute to Abigail. They stitched theirs with Silken Colors or DMCs. I did mine with a conversion to what's it called? Oh, I can't think of it. They're in Canada. Rosewood Manor uses them a lot. Oh my god, I just went blank. Oh, how do I do that? Who is it? Valdani. Oh my gosh. Okay. Valdani threads. I'm using the 6-stranded Valdani threads for this one. And it's on 32 count Mackinac Fudge by Needle and Flax. I think it's Needle and Flax. So there is my start. I think we're supposed to do like a 50 by 50 square or something like that. And it should be done by the date. But I'm behind, so I can catch up, so I'm not restricted to the 50 by 50. Is that why I get behind? So I can go ahead? I don't know. But I'm loving this piece, and the colors are great. And then we have Teresa Kogut's Pink Coat Santa, and I'm doing it on 32 count Empedora Marble, which was a Fabric of the Month fabric from Fox and Rabbit for GaRon Fabric of the Month Club. We had a couple of pieces left over put in the shop. It's okay. It's reading brown. It's really not a brown. It's not really a purple. It's kind of like a mauve-y brown. So it's kind of very hard to give you a real color for it. But it looked really good with the pink Santa when I laid the color on there. So that's what I was going for. And the pink Santa's really not pink either. He's like peach. So this is like, it's not what it is. It's what it looks like. And that is a lot of fill in. So he's like when I'm at the shop waiting, I'll just fill him in and get a length of thread done and be done with it. And this is not out yet. This was at Jingle Ball. We were told it will be released at Nashville in March. We're not taking pre-orders yet. Once we start taking pre-orders for Nashville, we'll let you guys know. We post all the stuff on our website. So this is Midnight Stocking. There are a lot of people stitching it. It's going to be a massive stitch along for this year, it seems like. And I'm doing mine on 32 count Old Top Hat by Dames of the Needle, and I had to start it before the new year. I think I started in December. Look at that. That's really cool. Because I was afraid it might have been too dark, but I said, no, I can see this. It's not black. But I mean, I'm excited for this piece because he's a smoking Santa, and I'm from the generation where Santa smoked a pipe, and he's I love that coat with the stars on there. So okay, and I have to let this fabric air out a little bit because it's got the fabric softener smell. And the final WIP, if Lauren and Sam are still watching, or if they watched, here is Christmas Town by Flossabilities. I didn't make the goal of getting it done before the end of the year. I was really close. I'm over here working on the tree farm, and I got this tree down here, so then I'm going to work over. Then I got the big tree here, and then more of the sidewalk, and then I got to go back and do some of the back stitching. There's not a lot of back stitching. There's just a little bit around the windows and some of the people, and then there's backstitch snowflakes up here that I'm going to get done, and then there's Santa up here. So it'll be done for 2026. It's a fun piece to stitch. I have heard that there are a lot of quarter stitches in the tree, the Christmas tree over here, but I'm good with quarter stitches on linen. I just do it on linen, so I just, then it's not that hard. Just keep it up. And so that, my dear friends, is my WIPs. I feel like it was more contained. I don't know if I'm getting better at organizing them. I doubt it because it took me all day to get my list done. And so I wanted to go over because somebody had asked me about all my finishes. I wasn't going to pull all of them out and show them here. What I'll do is at the end of the video, I'll do a slideshow of all the finishes that I had for the year. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I should be able to find photos for all of them. So I'm going to give you the list, and they're not in any particular order because I have no idea why my app, I think it put it in alphabetical order, but there's one up here I don't understand why it's up there. So, you know what? They're in alphabetical order. So it's Alibi, wait, they're not in alphabetical. That's weird. Okay, anyway, I'm just going to read the list. So 2025 finishes for the year was Dear Santa by Hands On Design, Alibi by Dirty Annie, Lily, Animal Cracker by Stacy Nash, and I just shipped her off to get fully finished with her little toad of tongue jar and her little witch hat. Fingers crossed how she looks. And then Are You Afraid of the Dark by Cricklewood, Cabin in the Woods by Flossabilities, Candy Corn Season. You know what? I'm just going to say the name because I'm starting to get a little squirrely with the designers and I don't want to misspeak. So Candy Corn Season, Charming Abode, Christmas Folk, Clean and Green, Dark Shadows, Dog's Declaration, Eggs All Around, Father Son, Frankenstein Sampler, thank God, Frankie, which is the little Frankie that I'm getting turned into an animal cracker shape kind of guy, little doll, Frankie's Bride, Halloween Town, Animal Cracker Humphrey, Jingle All the Way, Let Freedom Ring, Lord Deer, Animal Cracker, Cracky Cracker, Maggie May, Merry and Bright, Monster House, Naughty or Nice. What was that one for? Naughty or Nice? Okay, and then we got Oh Feathers, The Parrot from Salty Stitcher, Animal Cracker Reynard, Robin's Jig. I can't believe I did that one this year. Silent Night, Snow Queen, Spooky Quaker, Spread Joy, Stitching in the Wild. That was the piece that Flossabilities did where they murdered us in the wild. I stitched the model, and then they surprised us by sending us the model in the mail, all framed and everything. So that's the one you guys saw. And then the Nativity, then the Pilgrim's Pillow, Up on the Housetop, Vincent Van Gogh, Vivian Pesquez, and ending the year with Witching Hour. So that's my 40 finishes, and after this video, you'll see the screen montage of all those fully finished. I think they're all fully finished. No, they're not all fully finished because there's a couple that need to be. Some of them I just shipped off. Okay, so hopefully you guys enjoyed this little video, and we'll be back to our regularly scheduled video next Friday. We'll have all our normal starts, finishes, what's new in the shop. Should I give you guys a heads up what's new in the shop? We got some new scissors out there. Love Poppet is a new designer from the UK that we loaded out there. So go look up Love Poppet. That's all the sneak peeks I'll give you. With that, I'll see you guys next week. Bye.